So I've been lying to myself. When I first started this YouTube channel, I really did it for documentation purposes. I wanted to record myself in the journey of becoming a profitable trader. So later down the line, I can kind of binge watch the series and see how it went. But somewhere along the line, I got so drawn into educating so much that my main focus for my content was educate. And I would constantly have a struggle of like what to upload every single week because it's only a few things that I knew that kind of contribute to my success in trading. This only makes sense if I just upload those few things. And I really kind of lost the drive for posting videos, even though somehow I was consistent with it still. I really lost the drive and it sucked the fun out of me just trying to figure out a video to upload every week. So I wanted to take a little bit of a different approach. Like I said, I'm going back to the original reason why I started this YouTube channel, and it's solely 100% to document my journey. And that's what this channel is going to be about. So with that being said, I'm starting a new series. The series is called Road to Getting Funded. It's pretty simple. I am going to document my journey from going from a unfunded trader to a funded trader. So far, I've just been using live capital, but now I'm going to take another shot at the profitable space. And I've been in this space before, and it's been multiple on top of multiple failures in it. And I believe this time I'm a little different from who I was 12 months ago. So with that being said, I want to take my shot at it again. But this time I'm going to have a different approach and I'm going to do things a little different. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into this video. So like I said a little bit earlier, my main focus is to document the things that I'm doing kind of daily as I'm taking this challenge and what I'm kind of doing right now in this journey to give like a realistic, almost day in the life of a trader growing to becoming more profitable. So this really is just going to be capturing the tasks and the things that I do on a day-to-day basis. I'm not placing too much on an emphasis of if I'm going to pass the challenge or not. I really couldn't care less about it because there's a certain approach that I'm taking to it, and we'll dive into that right now. So the first things first, when it comes to which platform I'm going to use, I am honestly going to do that research now, but I'm starting off with the lowest account size, and here's why. I really want to get rid of as much pressure as I possibly can when taking these challenges. So by starting off with the lowest account, maybe like a 5K, it really releases a lot of pressure on me passing the challenge. And also, I'm not really necessarily doing this challenge to make money. I'm doing this challenge to prove a point to myself. That I can pass the challenge, because anywhere from 12 to 16 months ago, I was failing challenges left and right, and I took a break for them for a while, but I want to get back into this prop firm industry and I want to prove to myself that I can take a challenge. I thought of doing maybe like my FTMO funded trial, but it didn't feel real enough to me. Like nothing was really on the line. So I need to really get some skin in the game and start with a challenge. So I'm starting with the lowest amount. But the goal is not to make money. I don't really care for making money from this account, although it would be a nice bonus. My main goal is to get funded. So it's to pass phase 1, pass phase 2, and get a withdrawal. That's my main goal, and that's what I'm kind of documenting definitely for the journey. I'm gonna say that's gonna be my main goal for the year, honestly, to make those 3 things happen no matter what account size. I don't really care about the dollar amount as of right now. So there are some approaches that I'm gonna take differently from the first time that I started taking a challenge. And the first things first that I'm gonna do is I'm going to take 1 trade per session. I already have my trading strategy all managed out. So I have my trading plan, I have my entry criteria, trade criteria, risk management criteria, and also my trade. I think I just said that, trade management criteria. Anyway, I have all of those planned out. I already have my whole plan, my whole trading plan. I know what strategy I'm trading. I know the results behind it. I'm gonna do some back testing prior to as well. You guys will see that as well too. The main thing that I'm switching up is I'm adding a couple of things. So the first things first is I'm doing 1 trade per session only. So I used to take multiple trades per day. If the setup printed, like if the setup showed itself, I would just take the setup. But what I noticed, and I've watched a video by Paladin, and he really brought a really good point. He says having more trades open leads for more room to error because your focus is a lot less potent. And what I mean by that is it's easier to focus on 1 trade than it is to focus on 10. And it's easier to focus on 2 trades than it is to focus on 20, right? So the less trades you have, the more focus you'll be on those trades, which will also reduce the margin for error. So my goal, first things first, is to only do 1 trade per session. I planned for the first week for waking up for London, and you guys are gonna see how. I never really ever traded London. I've traded London when I backtested, but when it comes to live, it's just something about waking up at 3 a.m. that just doesn't sit right with me. But I'm gonna try that. This year, I'm gonna push myself to be a little different, to challenge myself a little bit more. So I'm gonna try that starting tonight, because markets is open. It's Sunday at 7:20 p.m. Markets is open. So I am going to push myself to start trading London. I'm going to see how it works for the first 3 days. And I'm not mainly focused on what the result of my trades are going to be. I'm mainly focused on how my body is reacting. So like, am I sluggish? Am I having a hard time making decisions? Am I really tired, right? Which, you know, I'm going to write that down and I'm going to write that down and take all of that into notice, to make sure that, okay, cool, if I do trade London, am I capable of, you know, being at the right mental state? And how does that affect the rest of my day? That's another thing too that I'm gonna look at. But something else I'm doing, like I said, starting to trade London as well too. And also, this is a rule for later on as well too, but I got this also from Paladin's video, and it just basically said, when you're in profit, when you get the account funded, as soon as you get in a profit, just take a withdrawal so it can be like a break-even account. That's another thing too. But the main thing I'm just mainly doing different is I know I have everything planned out in advance now, and I'm taking one trade per session. And I'm going to try doing the London session, see how my body reacts to it, and then I'm going to move on from there. So right now I'm going to kind of look at some prop firm challenges. I still have a challenge account that is open right now with, I believe it's Funding Pips, but I'm going to have to look into them because for some odd reason, I'm down more than I should be percentage wise. And it's not just commission and fees. So I'm gonna take a look at that. Maybe I missed a trade, and that's what I kind of hope it is. But I'm gonna take a look at that right now to see, because if I'm down more than I have to be with Funding Pips, and I notice that, I'm definitely not gonna use them for like the challenge account that I should buy for this month. I'm going to probably use a different prop firm. I don't know which ones. I'm gonna have to do my research on that. But yeah, let's jump into the research. All right, so I just got done from doing the research from my Funding Pips metric and also my journal on Edgewonk. And unless I forgot to enter a trade that's worth around $20, which I've kind of scraped this about 3 and 4 times, everything kind of matches up. So unless I forgot, and this could be a very true probability, right? Maybe there's one trade I forgot, but I've scraped it pretty much a good bit. I'm down, or $20 has either gone in swap or commission fees. And the crazy thing is I added all my commission to all my profits. So it's like, now this is like $20 that are like not even, this is $20 that's not coming from the commission end. So this is either $20 coming from the swaps or whatever. I don't really know. Who cares, honestly? I'm just gonna kind of look into some other funding challenges as well too. See where we're kind of at. I've heard some good ones like MyFundedFX. Yeah, I'm gonna do some research on some prop firm challenges. The goal tonight is to buy a challenge, get everything set up, get the credentials, get everything set up, and then begin trading it this week. Tomorrow is a big day, so let me go ahead and do that. So I just got done doing some research on some prop firms. Shout out to Kimmel Trading, because without him, I would be all over the place. I don't know what prop firms to look at. So I took a look at his new video, and I kind of went through the prop firms through his list, and I kind of boiled it down to 2, honestly. MyFundedFX and Funding Pips. I noticed that one of the most common things is all of them really have the same profit target, 8%. I thought it was 8%. So it's just honestly depending on which one do I want to choose. Price wise, if I go with Funding Pips, it would be like $18 less. But then again, I don't know how I feel about Funding Pips just because of that thing. I did read something where they say they take $2 of commission for I think any forex pair or something like that. So that could be the case. I don't know, not sure. That definitely could be the case, but I'm not sure, honestly. So when it comes to buying a challenge account, honestly, I'm being honest, in this position, I'm not really I don't really care about like the money aspect or the return aspect. I just really care about passing the challenge. And in this case, honestly speaking, if I really cared about like the security of getting a withdrawal and going with the best prop firm, honestly, I would go with my forex funds. Oh Lord, I honestly would go with FTMO. I've heard great things about them, and they just been around the longest. And although their rules is strict, I feel like with FTMO, I'd be more secure, and it just feels more authentic and professional to me. And that's just me personally. That's just my personal opinion. But whatever prop firm you go with, man, go with one that you feel safe. For me, I'm not gonna buy a funded account for one reason. I already have one, and I think it would be a greater challenge taking that account out of drawdown. I think that would be even better to my morale. So that's something I'm definitely gonna look into. I'm just gonna have to game plan how I'm gonna do it. And in my decision between the two, honestly, I would go with Funding Pips again, unless I wanted to try something new. But then I have to get a trade copier, and I don't know how that works yet. So I'm gonna just keep things really simple for myself. I already have a challenge that's in progress. I'm gonna go ahead and use that challenge. I'm down almost 3%. So that means I need to make 11% in order to pass phase 1. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna kind of try and take my account out of drawdown. My next goal, honestly, is to just get ready for London session. So I'm not gonna look at any charts. I don't really care to. London session, when I wake up, I'm kind of set an alarm for 2:30. I took a nap earlier today, so I'm thinking I'm gonna go try and like get off and go get in bed by like 10 p.m. It's 8:14 now. I'm just gonna enjoy the rest of the night. See you guys for London. All right, what's up, guys? It is officially London session. This is my first time kind of waking up. As you can see, it is 3:10 a.m. Woke up a little bit later than usual, but in 5 minutes, I'm about to check the charts, see if I see any trade setups. I took a chance to look at my phone in advance, and I did see some trade opportunities. Let's go ahead and check the charts. Looking at the charts right now, I'm not seeing any setups as of yet. I think I woke up a little bit too late for it. Matter of fact, the market does look good. I believe the only setup that may have playing out is probably this setup on GU, but I'll turn the camera around so you can see. So this setup on GU is probably the only setup that I see kind of playing around. But besides that, yeah, that's it. We kind of already missed our entry above here. Maybe 2:45 would have been a prime optimal time to enter or wake up, honestly, maybe 2 o'clock. So we could have got an entry right over here, but it's all good. So this is the perfect time for me to talk about strategy. So why do I trade the Fibonacci? So it's a funny story. At the time when I was thinking of names to start my channel, I was trading ICT Concepts, but I wanted a name that was kind of catchy as a YouTuber. So I was looking at all different type of names like MarFX, MarPips, Mar everything, right? And then Mar Fibonacci came along, and I thought it was original. I thought it was catchy. I thought it was smooth. But at the time, I didn't think it. A friend did, and I gotta say, after a while, I decided to, stick with the name for my YouTube going forward. But I was trading ICT Concepts, and then one day I had this really, you could call it catastrophic moment, where I was honestly just about to quit trading, and I had seen this video that said keep things super simple, right? And that's when I looked into, okay, cool, keep your strategy very simple, because the simpler it is, the easier it is to execute over and over and over. So that's what I did. I was like, okay, cool, what strategy do I understand the most? And Fibonacci was something I used to trade, and it was honestly one of the simplest strategies for me. I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna take the time to practice the master Fibonacci. And after loads of back testing sessions, I kind of finally figured out like what to do with the Fibonacci, and it started making sense. and then it's been smooth. Well, I can't say smooth sailing, but it's been really good ever since. So one tip of advice I would give as for upcoming traders, keep your strategy like super simple. You only need to know these 4 things. What's your trade criteria? What's your entry criteria? How much you plan to risk every trade? And how do you plan to manage the trade? If you can just keep your strategy just simple into understanding those 4 things, and then you just execute over and over and over and over. And as time goes along, not only do you get better, but you gain experience to actually start making subjective decisions off of the market. So that's one tip that I give. I'm going to stay up maybe until like 3:45, 4. If I don't see a setup by 4, I'm going back in bed. Sorry, guys. So, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're watching this from. It is currently almost 11 a.m. No trade setup happened in New York, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I kind of was sleeping through New York. That's something to look out for. When I went to bed last night, there was no setup at all. London, just the move ended up kind of moving without giving me my entry criteria. So I just let the trade play out. This morning I woke up to see if I seen anything on the charts. Nothing really. Market's still kind of picking back up as usual. I'm expecting my trading session is going to end in about 2 to 3 hours. So that's still a lot of time to get it set up still. But I'm just not really seeing too much play out right now. The only thing that I kind of have my eyes on is AUD USD. But for right now, I am going to show you my daily routine to get better as a trader every single day and what I kind of do. So it consists of 2 main things, and I kind of previously uploaded a video on this. But one is backtesting, and backtesting a certain way. So the purpose of this backtesting session is for just me to get back into the swing of things. It's been a while since I've, traded. So I'm gonna try my best to imitate that live market experience and try and get back on the horse, if you can so-called say it. And then the second thing is studying trading psychology. So for about 90 minutes per day, I usually watch either a podcast or a video. Usually video format's a little bit easier for me. I watch a video on just basically trading psychology, and I'll just take notes and just kind of think of new ideas while watching these videos. But my main thing is to kind of internalize some of the key points while watching these psychology videos. So that's my two things for today. Besides, other business stuff, those are the 2 things that I need to kind of really focus on. Once I focus on those 2 things, it's pretty much all I really focus on for the trading day. Unless I have a setup. But I'm going to prop you guys up so you guys can see how the back testing works. Jump into it. All right, so I just got done with a very long backtesting session. I was able to backtest 20 trades, and I got my result for 20 trades, and it's looking like what I'm really accustomed to, around a 30-ish% win rate. And every 20 trades, I can expect maybe anywhere from 2 to 4% gain. So that's definitely what I was kind of looking for. Kind of got that in my backtesting session. And it's so crazy because while you backtest, you can learn you can learn things about the market. For example, it doesn't have to be always technical. You can learn things about your strategy. And one of the key things that I learned is when it comes to let's say, for example, if you wanted to make 5% on a month, you can have 1 week where you popped off, where you just got 7%, and then the other 3 weeks are just completely just net negative, and you can still be at that 5% monthly gain. Every week doesn't have to be a 1% gain. It can be a 3% gain here, 2% loss, 5% gain here, but you can still hit your targets. And that's what I've been kind of noticing. I view my series and trades. I learned how to think of probabilities now. So I don't kind of look at every single trade or look at the result, what it's going to be in 20. Looking at some of my, if I could look here right by the trades, there's been multiple times where I've went on losing streaks. There's been 2 big losing streaks in my 20 trade streak that I went on, and I'm still net positive, a 5% gain. So for example, I noticed that my average loser may be anywhere from 5 to 6 trades. Four to six-ish trades is my average loser. And like my average drawdown honestly is maybe anywhere from like 3 to 4%. And that's like the maximum drawdown that I would face. So it's really good backtesting because you get to know these statistics, and it's really cool when you know these statistics because then you can honestly figure out what's going right and what's going wrong. So let's say, for example, like, like for me, I know my average like drawdown is 4%, right? But let me find myself in a challenge account that I'm in my drawdown, I'm in maybe 6-7% drawdown, I'm about to lose the account. Then I know for a fact that I was not following my rules and something went wrong. So it's really good to know these statistics because you're really able to know more about yourself as a trader and also pinpoint potential problems as well too. And also it gives you a sense of certainty in the uncertain nature that is the market. When it comes to consistent results in trading, all it takes is just consistent actions. So if you're doing the same actions over and over and over, you should get results that are similar. Even if, like my example, some series of 20 trades, right? Some of them I may have a 27% win rate. Some of them I may have a 34, but they're all around that 30th range if we're literally like kind of rounding up by each 10. So then like we're still around that 30-ish range mark. It's really good knowing these things because you can't know what's going to happen next in the next trade. And it's just like life. You don't really know what's going to happen next in life. But you understand that if you do a certain action consistently, you're going to get a result that's going to be kind of certain. So that's definitely something I really, really appreciate these backtesting sessions because they give me so much insight on my strategy, especially when I'm journaling them. They give me so much insight on my strategy and I can trust my data. And that's what I really love about these backtesting sessions because it gives me data that I can trust. So yeah, I just say in general, if you really have a strategy, take the time to really backtest it and get the data on it. Try and figure out some things that you may not know about your strategy. Like, what is your average drawdown with this strategy? What is your percentage ratio every 20 trades? Look at these things, and it's really, really helpful. Just got done with the backtesting session. I'm gonna take a little break, get something to eat, and then I'm going to start the psychology session, and we'll jump into it. So we are back, officially 4:03. And I just kind of got done with a couple of meetings. And what am I doing now? I'm doing this second thing that really translates to a lot of my growth as a trader. And I'm going to turn the camera in a second so you can see. Watching videos on trading psychology, whether that be podcasts or YouTube videos. I really like to take the time to at least getting an hour per day of studying some type of trading psychology, whether it's repetitive or not. And this truly helped me out a lot as a trader because it kind of, I'm gonna scoot back a little bit here. It kind of allowed me to understand, I want to say, the first principle of when it comes to trading psychology. And when it comes to just psychology in general, like when you think of the word psychology, right, it is just really honestly how you perceive the world, right? How you perceive certain things, right? So like when traders talk a lot about having problems in trading in their psychology, what they list is usually the symptoms of it. But when it comes down to having problems in psychology or having psychological problems in trading that causes you to do behaviors that are not in your best interest, is simply because you're perceiving something about the markets wrong. And like that's one thing, like that's the key idea I've been able to boil down through listening through. I think I've listened to over maybe 30 to 40 of these videos just talking about trading psychology, and it's really helpful because you'll start to hear them repeat the same cause over and over, and you can just honestly pick up on these things and just start implementing them yourself, and you can just achieve a whole different mindset when it comes to trading. First things first, what are trading psychological problems? Let's say, for example, you have a belief that isn't really benefiting you, and this belief causes you to do X, Y, and Z, but these beliefs are going to show up by certain patterns that's happening over and over and over. But there's that pattern of over leveraging, that pattern of over trading. Those patterns are just going to show up, and they're going to continuously showing up. And that's the first sign of knowing that you have a problem psychologically, that you have a belief that isn't really benefiting you when it comes to trading. So if you catch yourself making the same mistake over and over and over, it's okay, right? But it's a good thing. And I say it's a good thing because first things first, you're catching it. You know the mistake that you're making over and over. So that means you're closer and you're that much closer to fixing this problem. But the first thing that you really have to do is you have to understand, okay, cool, I'm making this mistake because somewhere wired inside my brain or somewhere wiring inside my head, I am perceiving something about the market in a non-beneficial way. And that's the statement that I repeat to myself over and over and over when I catch myself doing these bad habits or thinking these negative thoughts. It's something I'm perceiving that's not quite beneficial. So that's my little yap session, but that's the second thing that I'm going to be doing daily, taking the time, 90 minutes per day, learning about trading psychology. Right, just got done with the psychology study session. I just kind of put myself through. No real key ideas that I would like to share with you guys, honestly. This call was just kind of mainly for me, just kind of going over a lot of things. Oh, I guess the one key idea that I would like to share that I got from it was just take the time to have your system written out. Make sure you can explain your system in 30 to 60 seconds. The reason why it's good to have your system written out because it makes it easier to internalize. And the more you can internalize the system, the better trader you can be. Just simply internalizing your system allows your brain to no longer have to focus on what to look for. And then you can use that new mental energy that you have now to kind of put it towards other problems as well too, like focusing on your mental game in trading. So that's definitely one key idea that I kind of extrapolated from there too. That's gonna be it for today, honestly. This is what a realistic day in the life kind of looks like for any inspiring full-time traders. It's just mainly studying the right materials, and then also back testing when you don't have those days, because not every day is a trading day. Depending on your style, not every day has to be a trading day. So today was mainly a prime example of that, and I would say we still got better today. I came back to the markets and I am getting right back on my edge. I back tested and I'm getting right back on that horse that I got off prior to December, right? But I'm getting back in the groove of trading, and back testing session showed that. Back testing session also gave me some renowned confidence going into this new year as well too. So yeah, I hope you guys are able to take away. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know I'm going to enjoy editing this and watching this later on as well too. But until next time, peace and love.